So the opportunity for the pedal came up, and the Camco pedal is the pedal that I played, my friends played, the jazz guys played. It wasn't the heavy-duty pedal that appeared to be bigger and stronger like the competition, but it was the best feeling pedal. And all we had to do was take that pedal and figure out a way that we could make it stabler for the rock guys, and I knew we would have a winner. And one of the keys was putting a chain and sprocket on it. But before that, this was the first flyer we ever came out with while we were still in Gardena. We bought it, and when you started putting some pedals together that were just out of the existing dies and molds. And at that point, it was you and me, and Lori was in the front office part-time. But it was literally me in the front, John in the back with the drill press. Paul Rial, who was the singer in the band I had been working with, became our salesperson, and he was sitting at a desk part-time during the day. And we were making pedals best we could out of the machinery and equipment that we had.
Well, and we bought a bunch of stuff. You remember when
we inherited a bunch of parts?
It was just like 55-gallon drums of casting bits that you and I said, oh, wow, we got all the parts we need for 100 years. And turns out they would throw the rejects.
What we bought after we bought it was, of course, I'm paying money and I'm getting all this inventory they have, but it was like inventory that wasn't good in the first place, or wasn't as good as it should have been in the first place.
They saved it up to throw it in this thing.
So we had to make a lot of changes and improvements on it, the stroke adjustment.
Sure did.
And that was the beginning of about 15 inventions we had that we were able to get patents on that improved the way a bass drum pedal worked. And that's what separated us from everybody else, and still does.
Well, I would like to think so.
Yeah, still coming up with a lot of those ideas. And one by one, the big one, of course, was the chain and sprocket.
Because we used to send a bunch of pedals to
Pro Percussion in New York.
Yeah. And
they would do the adaptation.
Eppolito.
Right. I guess I felt we were a success. The first pedal we made, you made, and we put together, if you might remember this, Louis Belson's brother came up and picked it up and said, you know, Louis wants to try out, he'd played the Camco pedal, he wants to try out our new pedal. Hank Belson picked it up, and I get a call the next day from Louis Belson, who I had met on a couple of occasions, but didn't know him really that well. For him to call me personally, I thought, this is Louis Belson. So he said, Don, that's the best pedal I've ever used in my life. Love to have another one. I'll use them on my double bass drum setup. So at that point, I felt we were a success. I mean, if you can, what is a successful company? To me, that's a success. Then if we can just stay in business to reach enough drummers, we could even be financially successful, which is true. Our accountant didn't feel we were a success for about 10 more years after that, but because we kept spending more money than we were making and borrowing more money to grow.